SHFiguarts Kaiju number 8, Kafka Hibino. This box is so goated and minty that I just had to shove the figure back in there so you all get the proper experience. Whoever designed this box over at Bandai absolutely 100% understood the assignment. This is a solid star-worthy box. Yes, I will hand out a solid star if a box is banging, and this one surely is. My boy Kafka is going to be standing much taller than that of the standard SHFiguarts figure, which is indeed intentional. Shokugan, movie, king, movie again, Iraba. Paint and detail-wise, I can't see this taking too long, although every time I do in fact say that, it takes rather long. So let's just get the easy stuff out of the way first. Paint and detail-wise, on top of the feet, it's looking pretty dang good. Detail. We saw paint applications and details like this on the Movie Monster series figure, but here, we actually do have some separation, as in between the armored bits, we're actually going to get a darker black color to contrast with this gray. That way, it really does look like he's got armor on. We'll see more of that moving into the waist and thighs over here. Everything in between the armor-plated looking skin is very muscular looking, tendon-esque even, quite dig that. And we'll be seeing quite a bit of that on the arms. You've got the hard armor-plated looking skin, and then you've got muscles and tendons. Really nice stuff. Very much digging that we're getting more of this blue. We got a healthy amount of it on the Movie Monster series figure, but since that apparent paint budget is what it is, it was only really on one side, while here it's all properly outfitted. And I really like how it looks. Same could be said with the abdominals over here. The blue contrasting with the off gray and then the black of the abs. This is just so lovingly well done, and the detailing in between the abdominal muscles over here is even cooler. Blink and you'll miss it type stuff. The texturing for this armor-like skin is also quite nice, and I like that it does vary depending on what part of the body it's actually on. His Kaiju number 8 double D titties over here are going to look scaly, while his thighs over here are going to look armory. Just really nice stuff, and we've got almost collarbone looking things over here, which is cool. Lovely detail on the underside of his neck, more scaly than armor plated, and I'm digging it, but flip the figure around and the back of his head and neck will look a lot more armor plated. Just really nice stuff, and this time the spinal region is actually going to be fully painted. This is something the Bandai Movie Monster series release was missing, which in all actuality, really, it wasn't missing too much for both sides. Really? I mean, yeah, I could have used more, but consider me surprised. And I actually quite like that all of the different segments are going to be fully painted, as shown here and shown here. The back of the figure isn't going to feature too much that I haven't already covered, but the detailing is sublime. Tiny little cakes. And overall, between the blue and the separation between skin and tendon muscly things, Kafka's pretty based. And speaking of which, the detailing and paint on this dude's face is awesome. I love that the white used for the teeth actually differentiates from the white used for the bony part of his face and his collarbones over here. No paint abrasion on the side of his head this time. And look at that menacing grin with those perfectly applied eyes. Oh my god. Bandai really said, to my face and to my wallet, bitch! And boy do I feel it. But before I give my final rating on this guy in terms of paint and detail, let's check those accessories. Face 1. Face 2, Face 3, Shin, Forearm, Open Hands. The hands will be just as beautifully painted and detailed up as the fists are. We're just going to actually see what it looks like on the inside of his hands. And yes, there will be fingernail detailing on his fingers, really nice, as well as that tendon-y looking detail mixed with the armor-plated look. Overall, just exceptionally nice. The alternate forearm piece over here will feature that beautiful, tealish blue paint, but it will also feature the forearm opening up and exposing some xenomorph pipes that are actually going to have paint in there, which is really cool. And some added detailing over here where it looks like the skin flaps actually have teeth. And again, we're going to get that armor-plated skin detail, as well as getting those tendon-y looking details. Exuberant. The same will be funking around on the alternate shin piece over here, complete with 3 protruding rigatoni noodles, some teeth, and veins opening up over here. I'm noticing a bit of a pattern here. Teeth. The detailing is beautiful. The painting is awesome. Yeah, there's a schmutz right there, but I don't care. This looks just great. But now, here's the first alternate face, which will feature the eyes glaring in a different direction instead of just straight. Even when it's not attached to his body, it's badass. And it does look like the mouth differs from the other head. As you can see, this one's just got a bit of a toothy grin, while this one's got a bit of a snarl going on, and I do like that quite a bit. Then we've got this attack-ready face, which will actually feature the mouth opened with a fully painted inner mouth and tongue. Love that the eyes are infused with Bahajian power, and the fact that you can differentiate the irises, the pupils, the whole 9 yards. It's just really, really cool, and the addition of line work under the eyes over here is even cooler. Again, Bandai just friggin' killing it. And now for my favorite face, the surprised face. I love these cartoonishly looking eyes. I love the little lines around them. I love that the mouth is yet again opened with the tongue slightly raised in there, as you can see. The application of the eyes is flawless. The painting of the teeth is really, really nice. And overall, the detailing is fantastic. If this is how Bandai are gonna be cooking, milk it, Bandai. Now milk me, Bandai. Yuck! Paint and detail is going to get 2 solid stars because, of course, the figure looks great. The accessories look great, so the figure can look even greater than great. It's a no friggin' brainer. So let's move on. Accessory application is quite easy. When it comes to the faces, rip them off ever so gently, put ball joint, the ball joint socket, ball and socket torture. And boom, if you did it correctly, the face should move about just fine without popping off. When it comes to changing the hand, it's pretty self-explanatory. Just pull and push. Now when it comes to switching out the forearms over here, if you have an SHFiguarts Ultraman figure that actually came with a beam, this is pretty much the same thing. Give it a pull, bring the other one in. Boom. Gorgeous. Now when it comes to the alternate shin piece over here, just turn it on around and look in the holes. Each hole shape will accommodate one of the spikes we got. The long spike at the end is gonna look like a T. That looks like a T. Glade plugins. Plug it in, plug it in. L. Taking the L. Ow. D. Indeed. It should look a little bit like this, and now all you gotta do, rip, slip, give it a good old brush, and now when you have those shin spikes applied, you can't really get a neutral stance out of the figure because they're really meant for an action pose, not a standing around pose. And yeah, personally, that alternate shin piece without the spikes in it just doesn't look right. Solid star in terms of accessories. Between the paint being friggin' amazing, and the accessories being abundant and equally as amazing, and the upcoming articulation tooling that I can't wait to friggin' show off, this thing was only $30 before shipping from Japan. Alright, I'm curious. How much does this thing go for on Big Bad Toy? Whoa! $50 before shipping? Now that is a killer friggin' deal. Articulation time. Let's keep it going. Finally, an articulation segment that I don't need to allocate to the first 2 minutes of the video because I've talked about this kind of figure so many friggin' times. Happiness. So starting at the face over here, it's gonna be on a ball joint. Can look up that far, can look down that far, can look from side to side with the help of the rest of the joints in the neck. But we gotta talk about the back of the head first. Yes, this armor-plated kaiju skin over here are actually all going to be on hinges. Well, these 2 pieces over here will. They will be able to move up and back down to accommodate for head movement, as you can see. We're of course going to get a ball joint over here and a ball joint over here to aid in looking very, very far down and looking rather far up. Not bad. We can look from side to side, all the way around, essentially. And I was really curious as to how they were going to handle this, and Bandai friggin' handled it, man. Very well. I do wish he could look up a bit more, but, you know, just bend him back and At the shoulders over here, we are going to get a butterfly joint, which will help the arms move out quite far. You got them Kaiju Cocoa Puffs. I'm in love with the Cocoa. Also at the shoulder, you will be able to rotate all the way around, and they'll be able to move out about that far. Swivel at the bicep, double bend at the elbow. Does this count as a swivel at the forearm? I don't think so. Swivel at the wrist, up and down movement at the wrist, which is nice and tight. And now for the chest and the back. So we're gonna get a ball joint, ball joint, ball joint. So we'll be able to bend down very, very far, as you can see, but we'll also be able to bend back, but oh, take a look at this sweet bippy over here. You see how when you bend him forward, you get a gap You know, kind of like what happens with SH Monster Arts. Well, shifting backplate with a hinge. Yeah. Bandai kind of thought of everything here, huh? Yeah, discovering this little shifting make and model over here really further changed my opinion on this figure for the positive, of course. I mean, look at that bend back, look at the front, now look at the back. Perfection. And it practically moves like a grandfather clock, too. You just gotta push that up, bring this back down, and boom. That hunched over pose is entirely possible. And the skin over here really doesn't break the illusion at all. Sure, you'll have to reshift at times, but for the most part, this is beautiful. The fact that we got tooling like this on a pretty inexpensive before import and shipping figure is quite crazy. And of course, with those 3 ball joints, you will be able to swivel at all the different pieces. Starting up here, right at the top, and then over here at the mid portion, and then down here at the waist. And of course, this could accommodate for nice leans left, nice leans right, obviously nice leans back and forward, as already shown off. Now at the waist over here, this is where it's going to become a basic SHFiguarts figure. Legs can kick forward, about that far, back, about that far. Look at all that movement room and lack thereof Kaiju number 8 cheekage. I mean, he does got some cake, but not much. We're also going to get a thigh swivel over here. And I'm sure, as you expected, the legs can be moved down just a bit like that. Yes, yes, yes. Aiding in even further and probably more dynamic friggin' movement for the figure. But can he do the Kaiju number splits? Let's see. Well, yeah, just a bit. I mean, maybe if I shove that piece under there. Well, yeah, not the greatest, but hey, all things considered, this is still fucking awesome. We will get the most lovely double bend at the knee, down and up movement at the foot over here. One crazy friggin' pivot over here, man. I mean, this dude's ankle is broke. Jesus, I love it. And of course, we're going to have an up and down movement at the toes over here. Very, very nice. Man, can this figure move. Now, while it might not differ that much from the standard SHFiguarts norm, after messing around with the Movie Monster series figure for as long as I have, getting a hold of this guy and getting him into poses with his accessories and such, this is just top tier. I love how this figure moves. I love how this figure poses. It's so much fun to the point where it's like, if you wanted one Kaiju number 8 figure, like if you just wanted Kafka, this is the figure to get. You're not going to be disappointed. With the accessories, the paint and detail on top of everything that this figure can do, it's just straight fire. Front to back, ouch. This thing is awesome. 2 solid stars, bruh. Well, I paid $65 or something to that ilk. I cannot deny that everything on and about this figure feels well beyond its friggin' price point. And if you disagree, bitch! I mean, you're entitled to that. It's your opinion, but you're also kind of wrong. Anyway, that's about enough out of me, friends and neighbors. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm gonna leave a link to Big Bad Toy Store's listing of this thing in the comment section down below. And if it just so happened to come back into stock on HLJ, I'll leave a link to that as well. And when next we meet, it's time to bring back an old friend. No, we're done with that. For now, we're going to be talking about the 25cm X Plus ShinRobjira second print production thing. It's been quite a while since I last talked about my ShinRobjira shelf centerpiece, and I think he's deserving of a review? Like this is the 3rd time? I don't remember. Bye. Ah!